What's going on, y'all? So we're back in wildlife, and I feel like the last video I made didn't really do the game its justice. So I had a lot of issues with stuttering with the last video I made, and I figured out what the problem was. So I have both versions of this game installed on my PC. So I have this version that we're on right now, which is the most current one, and then I had the previous version also installed at the same time. And so what happens is the previous version's one ran better than this one, and you could see the difference in the video that I made. And I found out what was going on was the previous version's game was already optimized. I had the settings ready, put together, and ready to go. So when this version got installed, they share the same documents folder for the settings. So when I started the new version and I went to the settings, it was the exact same settings as the old version, but it was just displaying as if it was using those settings, but it actually wasn't. So what I had to do was reset all the settings for this current version and then set the settings that I want, and then they kicked in. So now I got much better performance. I'm not stuttering anywhere near as much as I was before. So we're going to do a quick run through of what I did before, just showing you guys off the new areas. But instead, I'm not going to skip to the old version to this version. I'm just doing this kind of to correct, because I kind of made the game look bad on how much it was stuttering. So we'll go through all the new areas. I'll kind of say what was there and what wasn't. But if you guys want to get an idea, if you haven't seen the first video, you can go back to that one and you can see, because I do the old version, I do an area in the old version, and then I do the area in the new version, so you guys can see the changes. But this is just me kind of doing the game its justice, because I feel like, the performance was pretty bad and that was on my end, but I figured it out. We're good to go. There are still some stutters, and that is a known issue in the game. That's in the change logs here. If we go to what's new and we go to known issues down here, heavy stutters when moving through some regions of the open world. So that is technically a game issue, but not as bad as it was in the last video that I made. So yeah, we're just going to fly through some of the areas and check them out. Just, yeah, and if you're new and you haven't seen the old video, if you want to know what the difference is, the difference is between the two versions, just go check the previous video I made and you guys will see the changes more visually. But anyways, for here in this area, all these trees and leaves you see on the sides here, they weren't here. Those trees here. So all the trees that are on the cliff, let's check them out here. I still don't have no shoes on. I don't know why. But you can see I'm not stuttering anywhere near as bad as I was before. But all these trees here are new. They weren't in the last version. So still some stuttering, but like it was really bad. If you've seen the last video, it was bad. Like it was real bad. So yeah, that's it for this area. So if we go up to this area over here, this village, and again, I'm going to make this video as quickly as possible because the other video was like an hour and a half. I really only want this one to be like 15 minutes. I just, like I said, want to kind of do the game its justice. So here in this area here, there's a bunch of trees. All these trees weren't here in the previous version. It was just these long stones. And the previous version before that were just basic looking trees with no like details. So they changed it. They added all these trees. These leaves are back. Let's get the sun more up in the sky. So lots of trees. You can go down here and it's almost like another landscape down here. You can see, like when I was in the older version, if you've seen the last video, I was stuttering like a motherfucker in here. Not stuttering anywhere near the way as much as I was before. One thing I didn't do was go in here. Let's see if they changed anything in here. So it doesn't look like they put anything in here yet. It'd be nice when they put the detail in the water here too. So let's fly back up. Just get another quick view. There's home tree. Alright, just want to change the sun around some. So yeah, that's this area here. And we will move on to the little, I call it the fishing village, I guess. Or actually, let's come here. I just showed off this area. There wasn't much happening here. But again, nowhere's near the stuttering that I was having before. So next is the fishing village here. And the major change that was done here in the fishing village was they started furnishing and texture in this area here. Boop. So all this stuff wasn't here. The furniture here. None of this furniture. Oh, what the? I didn't know you could get that perspective in first person. Oh, it's kind of cool. Yeah. So these furnitures weren't here. Go through the area here. So they're finally starting to get this stuff put together. And here, they changed the layout of this area from the previous version. And they just, yeah, they started adding, logs and stuff. That was pretty cool. Big change. Yeah, that's pretty much it for this area. I mean, it's big changes if you've seen the last version. But yeah, so then we'll add to, I believe it's Warrior Village. Again, the performance is way better now. I didn't say there wouldn't be any stuttering, but it's definitely doing a lot better. Alright, where's that? Oh, there it is. I see it. Then we got Warrior Village. So this place was completely gray the last time. It wasn't textured. So they started texturing all the buildings, and they've actually furnished the buildings now too. And like I was mentioning before, what I like about this village is they didn't just copy and paste all the homes. Like they got the same shape homes, yes, but every interior is got a different layout. So you can see the beds aren't in the same place. There's not the same amount of beds, the same furniture. So there's only one bed in here. The other one had like a few beds. If you come over to this one, see the layout's different in this one. And all this stuff was all gray. Everything was gray. There was no textures, no wood textures, and there's more decorations. So really nice. I was really happy with these changes. Yeah. And then I'll show you guys the next village. And like I mentioned in the last one, this is pretty much the only change in the game that I didn't agree with or I liked. I was really disappointed when they changed this village. And what I'll actually do, I didn't do it in the last video, but I'll show you guys what the village used to look like. And then I'll show you what they changed. Well, you guys are going to see what they changed it to now, but yeah. So you know what? I'm gonna perch myself right here. I'm gonna show you guys what the village used to look like, and then I'll show you what the village looks like now. Because again, like I said, this is the only change I didn't really like. Okay, so here's what the village used to look like. And what I liked about this village is it looked more livable. It looked more real. It looked like how all the characters and the NPCs in the game looked. This suited the characters better. It looked more believable with the world. And then I'll show you guys what the new one looks like, and I'll show you and I'll tell you why I really don't like the new changes. But yeah, see, it looks more, the colors, I like the colors, and the buildings look more, they don't look so cartoony. Um, the other buildings in the new one, they kind of look, they're big and bubbly, like a Nickelodeon type of vibe. Like, I don't know. This looks more of a serious looking village. Like I could see humans living here versus like cartoony character-ish people living in there. If you guys know what I'm saying. Oh, this is just me going between the two versions, I think. But even still, the layout just, I don't know. There's just something about this. You can see how bad the performance was in this last version compared to the new one. They really did a good job fixing the stuttering. But yeah, see, I definitely like this village more. So yeah, that's that. All right, so that was the old version of the village. Now here's the new one, and like I said, this village I don't like because, like I was mentioning before, it just seems so cartoony. Like as you can see, like you know what I mean? Like the architect completely changed the village, and it's like I don't know, man. There's just something about it. It just seems like there's like cartoon characters that are living here. Like if you look at my character now, and you look at these houses, it doesn't look like a person would live here. It could be the Carpelli race that live here. I don't know, but still, the other villages just seem more serious, like more of an actual livable place. So this is the only place I really didn't like the change that they made. But it's their game. They're going to do what they want. And we just got to accept it. But other than that, the previous version of this game was this village as well. And it didn't look like there was anything really changed in this village. So what you see here is what was in the last one. So yeah, we will move on to the desert area. And just to save some time, I skipped the flight because, like I said, the other video was like an hour and something long. I don't want the video to be that long. But this area here, not much had changed. If anything, I don't think anything really changed here. I think the only noticeable change in here was when there was grass here, like invisible grass. Well, not visible, but just weird shaped glass. Oh wow! I can close the door. Grass, but other than that, there wasn't really much change done to this area here. One thing I'd like to see them add, and I can see them adding it maybe eventually, is being able to change your camera distance. Or maybe there's a way to do that now, and I just don't know. But as of right now, can't really adjust your camera distance from your character. We come this way. Head towards like a little stone bridge area. this is another area that I didn't really notice much change in. In like with these desert areas, unless there's like a huge drastic change, you won't. It'll be hard to notice anything real, like any real change. So it doesn't seem like much has changed in this area here. I got a feeling that this is going to connect or be a part of like the temple area, maybe. Like you can go in through here, because this is still a closed door. So I'm assuming they're gonna have something in there eventually at some point. And then the temple area, which is, for whatever reason, I always have a hard time finding it. Give me a sec, 'cause I always have a hard time finding it. Alright, so we got like the mining area here that kind of leads to the temple area. And there were some changes here. I believe they added like a lot more torches and lighting down here. So all this stuff here is like lit up. You can see there's a bunch of torches. So they added a bunch of light sources here. It's not like super substantial stuff, but yeah. And all this stuff still looks the same. All this equipment and stuff here. This has been here for a while. Be a big intricate area when they're finished, though, from what it looks like. And here is the temple area, or what I call the temple area. I don't know what they're going to be calling it, but let's start from over here. Actually, there's some stuff down here too, isn't there? Whoa, whoa! Yeah, just some more area here. Yeah, so we just got this little temple area here. It looks like there's, like I was saying before, they're starting to like add internal structures in here. Oh wow! Wait a minute. I don't remember this spot. Holy! Was this here before? That's a long ass staircase. God damn! So you can see like the game looks small when you're flying up in the air, but then when you're on the ground, you can actually like get a good idea of how big the game is. And actually, I showed that before, so I should probably show it here. I'll show you guys the map. The map size here. So let's clear all this stuff out of here so you can get a better idea. So here's the map. And again, it doesn't look very big. Oh shoot, I think I moved my character. It doesn't look very big, but when you're on the ground, yeah, I moved my character. When you're on the ground, it's way bigger, like in person. So we'll fly through the temple area where they made quite a bit of changes there. So give me a sec, because now I'm lost. Uh-oh. Where's the temple? There it is. So, cool. We'll head towards the temple. So, I started adding these statues. And actually, I didn't even come down here. I don't think. Or maybe I did. Actually, I think I did come in here. So none of this stuff was in here, so they're actually starting to furnish this area as well as add coloring to it. You can see these greenish blue lines weren't here before. Nor were those statues. And then the egg chamber here. They started adding the statues. And I think that big statue was always there, but these two here weren't. And then this area here, god damn, this became a maze. There's so much, there's so many walkways and rooms now that you can go into. In the last version, I was like getting lost. So now you can go up. What the heck? And it's darker in here now too, so they like added like it's like this area just had its one huge light source and the entire area was lit up. So now it looks like they got rid of that one huge light source and just added all these torches everywhere. So you just got like certain areas lit up, which is more realistic. Like there's walkways everywhere now, hallways, staircases. So all this stuff was new, like these little stone tablets with hieroglyphics on them. Anything that looks like furniture or lamps or statues in this area is basically all new. And there's a lot more to this stuff. Like there's a lot more to this area, but I don't want to waste too much time just running around. So you can go down there. They'll just take you down deeper into the temple. Oh, what the heck? So yeah, see, if you keep going down those stairs, you'll just keep going lower on different levels. Here's different. They started to actually add detail to this area. They just look like plain bookshelves with nothing on them in the last version. Yeah, just more statues. There's more of like this mystically blue light. And then we hit the desert. And so yeah, from here we just got the desert area left to explore. And that'll be it. And there wasn't really much change here neither, so fly. So one of the new changes I noticed in the desert area were these little tiny rocks here poking up out of the ground, as you can see over here, like these little rocks here. You can see just little detailed pieces here. Same with there. And then with the crash ship, there wasn't really much I noticed change other than they added some ducts to walk through, like ventilation ducts to walk through. And I believe those ships in the air were detailed now. So we've got this huge crash ship here, which is kind of cool. I showed the perspective of how big this ship actually is. And I'll do it again, just so you guys can see. This game really reminds me of Subnautica on how open it is. So here's my character. And there's the actual scale of the ship. You can't even see my character. That's how big it is. Like, holy. So like I said, the game looks small when you're flying, but when you're on foot, like you can't. There's my character right there. And when this thing is finally finished and built, man, that's gonna be a big area. Holy smokes! So I'll do a quick fly inside the ship. So far, I won't walk through all the air ducts and stuff again. If you want to see that, go check out the video before this where he shows me walking through it. Just shows this stuff. This stuff isn't textured yet. Just goes to the end there, and then you just turn around. Then you got a big ass shaft that you can go up and lead you to different levels of the map or the ship. Like right here, for instance. And I'm not gonna make it, and I'm not gonna fool around with trying to get into it. But there's doorway in there. Just a bunch of duct. I can't say that word. Little cargo office bay area here. And then the cockpit. That was pretty much the gist of it. Like I said, this video was just to do the game a little bit more justice because the other version was, or the other video I made, I didn't have the settings up, so I was just stuttering all over the place. So much better performance. It's not just a game; it was my rig because I didn't have the settings done. And other than that, I don't know really else much I can show. Cool. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll show off some customization, character customization, because I've had a lot of people in other videos ask me that before. But like, this is some user-created content, which is pretty cool. Like, I love stuff like this. So like, a player made this and then just uploaded it for you to be able to download. I added this TV though. This is cool. You can import your own stuff. So this is a YouTube video I just made today, and I just added the video to the player here. And this has VR too, which is crazy. This has VR capabilities. So I'm probably going to try and get the VR and try it out in VR just to see how cool this area and stuff looks in VR. But other than that, well, I'll show you guys some character customization like clothing and stuff. But first, because if you've seen this stuff before, you know how unpredictable this is. So I got to put full sensor on this. So yeah, give me a sec. Okay, so we're going to risk it. We're going to see how close to the sun we can fly without getting in trouble here. Yeah, so you got a bunch, like, a lot of these outfits are like, so let's go, because a lot of these are player mods as well. So from pretty much, oh my gosh, let me get down there. There's so much clothing for this character. So from this outfit here, from this outfit down are the game's outfits, and then the rest are made from other players. So all these are player outfits. So there's a decent amount of mods for this. So body wise, you can change the shape of the thighs and the buttocks, chest area, of course. Um, Clothing, like I said, you can change all the clothing. If you go to here, there's a bunch of different hairs you can change them to. If I take, let's see this jacket off, because this messes with hair physics. So there's a bunch of different hairs. You can obviously change the color of the hair, add highlights to the hair, different color highlights if you want. Pretty cool. Skin, there's a bunch of different skin options, and then you can mess with the colors from there. Which is pretty cool. Skin color. You can change and go crazy if you want. Eyes, same thing. You can give a character glowing eyes if you want. Change the eyes, layouts. It's a whole bunch of stuff typical of a game like this. And then there's like you can save presets. So let me load up a preset. Let me. I gotta do it. I gotta pause it though, and then just load up because I don't know how it's gonna pop up. So give me a sec. So here's one preset. Here's another one that I had in a previous video. Oh, and you can see there's some censoring down there, so I guess that outfit kind of shows something down there. You can even be an android if you want. Oh, or if you want to be a demon, you can be a demon. You can pretty much do whatever you want with this game, man. The modern community is pretty good with it. And then you've got like the little animation system where you can actually kind of come up with your own animations. But then you've got stuff where you can mess around with some of the poses here. There's all kinds of different things here. Different poses. Um, there's just a bunch of stuff you can do here. Like you can the dances. What the hell? I actually didn't look at these. Let's check these out. Dances programmed into the game. Break dance. This is hilarious. The amount of time it must take to animate this stuff, man. This was pretty cool. I never really watched any of these. So if you want to set up like different scenes, you can kind of like you want to make a dance studio. You can make a dance studio. Oh no, he's crumping. That's funny. Oh my God, how many dances do they have? Sheesh. God damn. This is actually pretty funny. Hold on, let me see something here. You like to make a little dance video. Stop spinning so quick. God damn it. Move you closer to the window. This is cool. I never really paid attention to this. What other dances do they got? Salsa. The amount of time it would take to animate this. And some of these dances are pretty good. Oh, now we're back to. Oh, oh no no no! Don't do that. This is pretty cool. I never messed with the poser before. Huh. Maybe this will be the thumbnail. Let me make a thumbnail real quick. Like I messed with the pose, but never really like checked out like the idols and the animations. But yeah, other than that, I don't really know. There's a bunch of stuff you can do. A lot of the stuff I can't show on YouTube, obviously, for like reasons you all know. But again, I just want to show the game with better performance because I made the game look kind of bad with the other video I made. So yeah, anything else you guys want to see, just let me know. Ask me in the comments, and I'll see what I can show. Other than that, I'll end the video. If you made it this far, with if you're new again, I'll let the devs explain what wildlife is, and you guys will get a better picture of what it actually is. Because it's just not a sex simulator. There's a story, there's combat. As I mentioned all the stuff before, but I'll end the video with them explaining what the game is, and then I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.
Hello and welcome to a short presentation of our in-development action-adventure game, Wildlife. Our game consists of 2 ambitious modes, which are constantly developed and
And might I add, this game, the gameplay that you're seeing right now, this video is a little bit outdated. This is in Unreal Engine 4, and they're actually in the process of porting it over to Unreal Engine 5 now, which is, I'm playing the Unreal Engine 5 game, and it looks way better, like the lighting and stuff. But the landscape isn't as textured yet because they're still porting over textures and stuff like that. So just keep in mind that what you see here looks way better in Unreal Engine 5.
updated on our Patreon for download and play.